So don't mind me. Don't mind me. We're not doing our usual. I decided to make a mistake. So can we spot the mistake? That's right there. There's supposed to be 3 of these, and what I did is I finished this first and then moved on, and it wasn't time yet. So what I get to do is pick it apart. And I figured this was just as good a time to do as anything, and figured I would hang out with y'all while I did so, and then finish this off. I don't know how long this stream is going to be as a result, but there we have it. So, yep. I took care of some business today, and then took a large break, and I am not doing homework right now, and I should be, but yeah. So as you see, we finished this, the thread that was on there, and that's the whole point of these things, is for like picking these things apart. I actually saw this terrible review. Somebody, there's a package of them. I want like all the colors, okay, and I was looking for it, trying to figure out where I saw it, and I saw this review. So it was like, these things were awful. I was gonna do this for, I was gonna use this for a class, and then I did, and it was just really unwieldy, and I really didn't need it, and it was just a waste. So part of the complaint was, okay, this is like a typical shuttle. Okay, now yes, this has yarn on it, right? But look how thin that yarn is compared to this. It's a lot thinner, right? It's at least a size down. There's also only so much of this I can fit on this because there's not a whole lot of working space. So the whole purpose of this being huge, there's more wrapping space. So yes, it is helpful. I just think that you maybe don't know how to utilize it. Now, is it necessary to use a larger shuttle because the thread is larger? No. But for the purpose of being able to load more on the shuttle, yes. And I think that's what was missed there. So here we are. This is going to be fun. Picking these things out is a fucking bear, because this is tightened, and I don't know how easy that is going to be to fix. I really fucking don't. So here we go. We're fixing it. So I was doing some research. Gonna try to get out of that. Actually, no. That might be the right word, use of that word. I was doing some research into world building earlier, because I got a wild hair and decided that I'm gonna get back into writing. Now, I've been a writer like my entire life, so it's not like I left. That's not my bread and butter. That's not the mainstay of what I'm doing. And my writing isn't something that I'd like put out there publicly at this point. And I want to, like, I'm willing to, but you know, I gotta finish something first. And yeah, I haven't gotten there yet. I don't force my writing. There's a reason I'm not published. I don't know that I could get down with a deadline. I gotta be completely honest with you. I think I would have like a really hard time if you said, you have to be done with this by this date. I think that whatever the hell I produced, if I wasn't like on track, I think it would be trash. I'm completely honest with you. Like, I don't think it would be any good. And you know, I don't have a lot of things, but I do have my reputation. as an artist, and I would like it to not be trash, you know? You know? And that means not producing trash. So there we have it. I've got off on like several tangents today that I didn't mean to. Whoops. Yeah, so I started working on this, and in my brain, this piece was going to be on the inside, and this was going to be on the outside, and I totally did not think about the fact that for this, the ivory piece to be on the inside, it would have had to be on here. And I was like, oh yeah, no, that's right. I was like, you're silly. I'm like, yeah, you're silly. So I'm closing tabs while I'm talking to you, because this is me fixing a mistake. Oh, I went out and looked at some shoes because I need some new shoes for work. Yay. And I found the ones I wanted originally last time I got new shoes, but couldn't find them in my size. And so, yay! I didn't buy them because that's not what I was there to do. I'm going to order them online. I just wanted to make sure I got the right freaking... I wanted to make sure I had the right, like, size. So anyway, mission accomplished. Alright, here's the fun part. Is undoing this ring without breaking breaking the yarn. Good luck. Okay? That's all I have to say. I don't know how this is going to work. If it doesn't work, what's going to happen is I'm going to have a motif to, like, embellish with, which is what I've been doing with all of my this didn't fucking work. That's what I've been doing with it. Which I don't think is a bad use of my time. Okay? So, and like waste not, want not. Okay, so let's see. Oh my god. So I see what's going on here. I've done this a couple of times. You think I would get better at it? I'm not better at it at all. I suck at this. This is right up there with untangling yarn though, right? Like, you can do it. It just takes patience. That's what you have to do. You have to you gotta just work at it. I mean, it's absolutely much easier if you don't do this. Oh my god, there's a trick to it, and I'm, like I said, I suck at this. Oh my gosh. Because what's happening is when you form the stitches, you flip the knot, is what it's called, and that's how it's like, that's how the stitch is formed. And so if you pull on the opposite side, what happens is it flips the other thread out. And that's not what we want to do, because it'll make it impossible to open. Let's see if I can do this and not fuck stuff up. Hold on. I totally forgot that I had the sounds on my phone. I'm sorry. Oh my god, this is killing me. I know there's a trick to it, and clearly I haven't mastered it. That's okay. That's okay. So, yeah, let's use this one. Oh my god. Here's the thing, once I open this ring up, I'll be good to go. I just have to get that far. That's all. That's all. Nothing to see here. Alright, what's this? Add to cart. There's a hat I want to buy. Oh, sugar snaps. That's not what I want to do. That's not what I meant to do. Fuck. Okay, so nope. Nope. Oh my gosh. This is like hating me. Don't want to do this. Don't want to be here anymore. Oh my gosh, I forgot how to do this. This is fun, right? This is totally fun. Struggle bus! Like, what are you doing, friend? I'm like, well. Oh my gosh. I think. Of course, I can't look anything up. Nothing like a little struggling. So, let's look at the back. What is... I'm trying to figure out where... There's a place I'm supposed to pull and I can't quite... It's over on this side. Ha! There we go. And I just need the ring to open enough for me to, like, slide the shuttle through. That's all I need. I can get the stitches, like, I can get the stitches separated. I can do this. which is what we're doing right now. So, use that just because it's smaller. This is something you can do with a freaking crochet hook too, or a tatting needle. You should use a yarn one though, because the thread ones are super, super delicate. And you will bend them. Alright, cool. So, what's going to happen is I flip the knot and it looks like a certain way. And to open it, you have to pull this, and then you're going to flip the knot the other way. Okay, that's not a good sound. Hopefully I didn't just break something. Okay, so, whoops. Don't worry, we can fix that. So I was taking notes on world building earlier. I've found this YouTuber. I've known about this guy for a while. I fell in a YouTube hole, and that's how I found him, like, just randomly. And I was just like, this guy is awesome! And, you know, it was a Lord of the Rings videos when I was watching. It was about Galadriel, I think. And then, I remembered him the other day when I was talking to Twig, because Twig is writerly as well, and I was like, hey, I wrote something if you were interested in seeing it, and I got some commendation, like I got some compliments on it, which was really, oh shit, which was really cool. Because it's, you know, it's nice to hear that you did good, okay? It matters. It really does. It's just, it's nice to know. Ha ha! So there we go. That's like that's it. That's the hard part right there. Anyway. So, and fixing a chain is going to be so much easier. Like, fixing a ring, I think, is just a lot harder, because you have to pull the ring closed, and so you don't have a lot of space to work with. And all I'm doing is loosening, like, half the knot. And then I can pull the shuttle through. And when you flip it the other way, what happens is it makes it so that it's easier to pull out. So, a friend is a nerd as well, obviously. And I remembered this guy because I was watching his world building stuff the other day, because creativity-wise, I think I'm good. Technically speaking, I could use some work. Like, I have the hardest time keeping the right perspective in my writing. Like, it shifts and changes. And I don't even notice it. And that's, like, something that I need to, like, work on. Because I'll switch from third person omniscient to first person back and forth. I know, I'm sure I'm not the only one. But anyway, yeah, so, which is not great, because it's confusing to, like, other people. Like, I don't think it's too bad, but it'd be better if I didn't do it. So, anyway, and he's got, like, a bunch of videos about writing, and other nerdery, and then he's put out, I guess, 2 books now, which I don't think he had written a book when I discovered him, but it was like a couple of years ago, several years ago. I don't know what time it is anymore. So that was cool. And then I started he's got one on pacing, talking about using subtext, which apparently I'm very good at. Like, I I don't mean to drop subtext everywhere, but according to my writing, I do so very well. And knowing myself as I do, that's not really a surprise. So, yeah. I was listening today. Today's video I was watching was, they were talking about the whole show don't tell, and that concept is, you know, instead of like writing, oh, the person was sad, you need to show that they're sad. You need to like use other means to describe it. And so then that gets people in the habit of like wanting to do things a certain way, but the reality is there's not like one way to be a writer. And you know, you gotta consider your style and like what you're trying to do, and there are definitely ways that are going to be more effective based on what you're trying to do, but write however the hell you want, you know. There's somebody out there who's going to like it, right? So you're good. No, it's like, you don't have to meet a standard. I mean, it'd be great if it wasn't trash. Yeah, sure. It'd be great if it was, like, easy to read, right? You know, like, you could follow along with it. But as far as, like, your individual style being something, I mean, let it be what it is. I was like, E.E. Cummings was really not one for capitalization. That's part of his style. That's just, and that's kind of, that's one of the ways you recognize his work. And there's something to be said for seeing some representation of art, right? Or, ta-da, whatever it is. And like knowing, okay, well, this is a Tarantino film, right? This score is by James Howard. That's a design by Stephen West. Like, there's something to be said for that. And I mean, that is consistency and cohesion, and like what you're making is what that is. Like, at some point, your style, your way of things, like how you execute your art form, whatever it is, it'll come out, right? So like, if you are an artist and you don't have one yet, keep making things. It's not, oh, do 100 hours of art and you'll have a style. No, like, you've got to try things out, you've got to experiment. There's so many things that you have to do. You got to try and fail. Yeah, feel free to remind me of this when I'm like fussing that like my style is One thing I can say about my style is it's very colorful. I don't know what that's about. Actually, I came across a new human at work. This is the person, I don't know if I've mentioned them. I walked them around and showed them like where everything was all over the buildings in various departments. And at one point we're sitting just in between going through, because let's not constantly be walking all day, like sit down for a minute. And we're talking about stuff, and I said something about, oh yeah, no, I make stuff. And they were like, oh yeah, really, I make stuff too. And I was like, you know what? I can show you the stuff I make. It's all on my Instagram. And I pulled it up, and I scrolled down a bit, made sure there wasn't like anything weird. I use my Instagram for work though, so like there shouldn't be anything weird there. But, and the first thing out of her mouth was, your work is so colorful. And I'm like, you know, it is. Yeah, I've noticed. Which is funny. And one of the last times I had somebody look at my work who'd never seen it before, that was the first fucking thing they said. They were like, oh my god, there's so much color. And I think it's funny is because I'm a very drab, monotone, low-key kind of human, right? Okay, so now we've done this, now we can fix this. I don't wear a lot of color. I don't like a lot of color. Like, I like the concept of color, right? but I personally, it's not my style to like dress very loudly. And, sorry, my ear itched. It's just not me. Like, I'm much more likely to, like, have all gray and then, like, have, like, this tiny accent of color than I am to, like, do something where, like, it's mostly low color. So, alright, so we're gonna see what happens if I get like 1,000 drinks on my desk. Okay, I'm gonna move my... Oh yeah, no, that's connected to that. I should move... Ow! This whole thing out the way, huh? Ta-da! Just making space. Making pancakes, making bacon pancakes. Freaking adventure time. Yes. Okay, so... no, we'll do one more. Anyway, I thought it was really funny that that's apparently, like, always the thing that people notice. They're like, oh my gosh, your work is so colorful. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And they're like, that's good. And I'm like, you know, it's not my style. Which usually confuses people. They're like, what? And I'm like, no, I wouldn't wear half the stuff I make. Because it's too loud for me. I love making it. I love making it. But I don't like attention. I don't like to be noticed. Which is funny because I'm personality on the internet. It's fucking weird. The irony of that, okay? Yeah. So anyway, I'd rather you notice my work than me. And I'm not the only artist who's like that. There's a lot of people who are like that. Now see, this is all we need to do. We didn't need to do that much to fix it. I just needed to do one more picot and then 3 more stitches, and then that was the end of it. But that's why it was looking weird. Because I did it wrong. Good job, me. Woo! Okay, let's see what's going on here. Everybody over there. So, as you're noticing, I have notes under here. And that is happening. Okay, so that's going on there. And I'll move this out of the way. And move this way so that thing's not there. And move this closer. And these out of the way. So now we get to do this part again. So next time I flip the knot, I'll do it in slow motion so you can see what I'm doing. Because you flip the knot in both directions. So you see what's going on there, right? And you're going to pull it and it's going to make this the inside. Oh no, it's raining. The doggo is upset. So when we do it here, and the thing is if you don't flip the knot, what happens if you try to pull this out, you're just going to be pulling the knot instead of pulling this out. And I could show you what that looks like. So, whoa, mind me. Right, so that works, which also means you can do this. But if you were to not flip the knot, it would, let's see. Okay, so then what happens is you see this, the part that goes over is right there. And if you try to close it, it doesn't do anything because this part is just tightening it here. And that's why you have to flip it. Because science. That's why. I don't know why, but that's, I mean, I do know why, because that's what happens if you don't do it. It won't do the thing. It won't do the thing. Yeah, I think we're going to have time to essentially finish this motif. I'm really surprised about how long these color changes are. Like, this whole shuttle was just blue. And that was very interesting. So now we have to join this thing, and this is hard because it's a stick, and so you have to, like, it would be so much easier to do this with a hook, but I'm trying to just be able to do it with the tool itself, and it's a pain in the butt to do. Like, if the picos were bigger, it would absolutely not be a problem. But I don't want huge picos. So, here we go. With a little patience and ingenuity. Yeah, so I have a heart to make. Payment for services rendered. Not really. It's making a lot of noise over there. So, I know there's like a lot of fiddling with my hands. My joints also keep just saying, hey, I'm gonna get stuck and not move. And I'm like, really? And it's like, yep, I sure am. I'm like, you're a jerk. And it's like, don't care. So, we're gonna make another picot. Oh yeah, this is this, I think this is the 6th one. This one's a bear to do, this ring. Because, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, no. Oh, this is the 5th one. Okay, cool. Oh, you know what? I was on the 6th one. That's why I'm getting confused. When I do the 6th ring, I have to join to the one on here and this one, and it's just really cumbersome. I really hate that my fingers lock up. It's just annoying. This is also not my usually, like, this is not my usual way I hold my hands. There we go. And, like, I don't usually have them this far from me. And so this is just, it's just weird. You know, with as clumsy as I am with this, like, it makes it look like I don't know what I'm doing, which is not accurate. I just don't usually work at this angle. Alright, I gotta count the stitches. I need one more. Now here's the thing. We check before we tighten these things, right? So we got this, that. We want to... That's the other thing, these things are handy. is stretching out the picos so you can see them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta-da! And there you go. The ring is closed. Hooray! Okay, so now we can go to the next one, which will be the second to last chain. And that's just what these little lengths are called. It's not, it's, I didn't make the rules. So. What I'm doing is I'm tensioning the yarn with all that. I don't want there to be any gaps if I can help it, because I'm going to have to correct them if there are, because it's going to drive me bananas. That's good. Okay, we can do with that. Yeah, I thought I was going to turn my AC off today, and I did for a little while, and then I woke up, so I laid down to take a nap because I could not even anymore. And I was hot as hell, and I was like, alright, it is clearly not time to turn off my AC yet, even though it's fall, and I'd like to. It was 60 degrees when I went outside the other day, and I was like, oh yeah. Which is funny, because I hate being cold, but like fall is where it's at for me. So, I might start writing, like officially. I mean, I've got a start. I've got a bunch of concepts mapped out, which is, so here's the thing. I don't know what other writers do, because I don't talk to people about writing, and I haven't like bothered to like research or look or anything. I mean, I understand that when it comes to like movies and TV shows, like there's some people will storyboard, right, and all that jazz, but I don't do any of that. No, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who does things the way I do them, but like I just don't know what other ways people do them, because it doesn't matter to me. Like the way I do it works for me, so I don't need to, like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And look, there's nothing wrong with learning new techniques. It's actually great to learn new techniques. But if you're learning something because you think that, oh, well, this is how it has to be done, oh, no, don't do that. Don't do that. So I'm not about that life. I'll say this is also a little unwieldy because this shuttle is large, but it doesn't bother me. I've made a bunch of stuff with much smaller thread too with it. So, and here's the thing, if I had to correct this, like taking that out is so much easier. Now I get to look real incompetent to do the last ring. So, I've got some concepts. I've talked it over with friends. I've talked about it with Twig. So Twig was like, I told Twig the concept that I was working with, and they were like, oh my god, that's awesome. I was like, okay, cool, thanks. Yeah. And here's the thing. I feel like I can tell you this. We're not gonna go into everything. I can say this though. Let's see how my battery's doing. Okay. We may have to cut this off soonish. I don't know if we're gonna make it to an hour. Just because my battery is not like fully charged. Okay. But I'm at the last ring, so we should probably be able to make it, at least to finish this. So anyway, now here's a, I don't know how I feel about this. That's a little bit of a gap. That's like too much of a gap for me, and I don't like that. So we're going to fix it. Whenever I write, I usually get a scene in my head, and I just go for it. And I'm basically like playing stenographer, right? I'm writing down everything that's going on. And so I'm just the conduit for like I'm not making conscious decisions about characters, and I am sure anybody who is writerly has an idea at least what I'm talking about. I don't think I'm doing a good job explaining it, but that's what's going on. That also means that if the characters don't speak to me, I don't write anything. And that becomes a problem, because, and that's why I'm not published, right? Because if I had to meet a deadline, like I think, like when I force my creativity, this is something like, hey, I have to finish this by tomorrow. One, gonna stay up all night, work on it. And two, like, I know exactly how to do this, right? I know how to troubleshoot it. I know, like, if it just goes catastrophically wrong, what to do to fix it. Like, I can fix this. But my skill, like I said, technically speaking, when it comes to writing, is like it could, you know, it could use improvement. But I've never bothered to try and improve it, so yeah, obviously. Now, as far as creative ideas, no, I'm good there. But alright, so this is how we're gonna fix this. We don't have to take that stitch out. We just have to tighten it next to the chain. That's all. And the thing was, when you start moving it around, it just loosens. That's what happens. There we go. Okay, so that's better. Like, it's okay for there to be like a little bit of a gap. I just don't want like a really big one, because it'll be really hard to reconcile that. So I think a lot of what happens in writing, like, or not, okay, maybe not a lot of, but a palpable place that you find ideas coming from, I think is like, what if? What if, and okay, I'm not saying that this is what happened, but it's funny. What if I wrote vampires that sparkle? Right? What if? I doubt that is what she meant. But it's, you know, it's a thing now, right? It's a thing. It's a fucking meme. And I mean, there's something to be said of it. Everybody, like you say, vampires that sparkle, everybody knows what the hell you're talking about. So I gotta say, she's got it. So, and there's something to be said for that. Like, you're not gonna think of her work and think of somebody else. And so she's doing it right. That aside, I think that like a good amount of ideas totally come from, well, what if? You know, Gina Showalter has a series called Lords of the Underworld, and it's basically like, to get you the quick and dirty version, here's what happened after Pandora opened the box. Like in much more detail than the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In much more detail than the myth goes into. Okay? And I won't spoil for you. I will not spoil it for you. Like, if you want to know, look her up. And I love the concept. I think it's so freaking cool. And like and then my brain's just like, wow, I wish I could have come up with something that cool. Because, you know, like, when you stop to think about it, you're like, oh my gosh, no, that is really cool. Like, we know what the myth says, right? We got that. But that's it. Like, she opens the box, everything gets out, except for Hope. You know, this is why we have evil in the world, and, you know, whatever happened to her with that part of the myth, I don't know. And that's it. Okay, so now here comes the hard part, is getting this through here. Now, once I've done this, this is so much easier. Ta-da! I think that's the easiest time I've ever had with it. It's the easiest time I've had with getting the Pico in this freaking project. I mean, y'all see me struggling, right? I swear I know what I'm doing. I really do. I just don't work on camera very often. Not doing this. Like, I know I've got to... Look, I know that I've got a bunch of videos of me doing it now, but, like, there are way more videos of me knitting. I'm trying to make sure that this is tightened appropriately so that I can finish the stitch. Now we're gonna check. Okay, yeah, it's working. It's working. But I think that's a reasonable avenue for, like, ideas. It's like, what if this happened? And I know, like, whenever I've written fanfic, that's totally what's going on. Like, what if I got to go to this world that this person created? What would I be? What would I do? Like, what would I be? What would I do? You know, all those little details. And then I get to explore it of, you know, based on the knowledge base of, okay, these are the rules of the universe. This is what's going on. This is how this works. And here you are. Okay, so I'm trying to make sure I got it right. Got one more stitch. These are called stitches. It's fucking weird. And with this, because I'm creating a completely different place, although I think it might be Earth-esque, I haven't decided. Like, I haven't been focusing specifically on the setting insofar of saying, okay, this is where we are, right? I've been focusing on some significant happenings, like, I guess, laying the foundation for, like, the concept by way of some... I'm trying to think of the right word. I'm trying to think. This is not working. This is not working. I'm laying the foundations. I'm laying the groundwork. I'm deciding, okay, this is the concept that we're exploring. What does that look like? But this time around, like, I've got, and I do concept pages, like, and my concept pages are usually, like, ideas I haven't gotten to yet, okay? And yeah, when you tighten these things, you have to be so careful, because if you tighten them too much, you will just break the thread. And while you can absolutely, like, reattach it, it's so much easier if you don't have to do that. So anyway, I came up with a what if, and then I was like, could you, like, write a whole story about that? And I'm like, you know what? I don't know. Let's find out. So that's what it's one of the things I did Thursday night, after class. Okay, so, and I usually put that first stitch in and I double check it and make sure that it's close enough for me. Okay, so, and I've been mapping some stuff out. So this is the concept. You know, what does that look like? how does that, like what effect does this happening event, whatever, have on the characters? Like, how does this? I've been taking it seriously, I guess. It's so weird to say that. Like, it's not that I don't take my reading seriously. I'm just like, I don't know, actually putting effort into it this time. I don't know, other than just writing down an idea and saying, okay, that's done. And I guess what I'm doing, maybe differently. Some of it is, I'm asking, okay, well, now what? Like, if this is the situation, like, what are these people? What are they doing in this situation? How is this affecting them? I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna have to talk to Twig about it, because Twig is much more writerly than I am. Oh goodness, sorry. Sorry. Alright, so one more Pico. And I've got like not a character sheet, although that is something to consider. You know what? Deal with it. Why are you catching me at the end? You know I'm leaving soon, right? I'm almost done with this. Almost done with this. But, yeah, I seriously have to do homework. I look, no skin off my back. I promise you, I'm not bothered. I really have to do homework though. Like, oh my gosh. Okay, now we got this done. The moment of truth is, how the hell do I finish this thing off? Well, this is large enough that I can use my yarn needle, so that shouldn't be a problem. First of all, let's make sure that's all done. And this is what I've been doing with this. I'm just measuring this right here, so that, where in the hell? How are you? How's your Saturday been? I've been completely unproductive. It's not awesome, but here we are. Ha! Hold on. Boom. Alright, so now I need to remember where the hell my really big tatting needle is. Well, I got too hot earlier because I turned off my AC and my brain said, hey, guess what you're going to do? You're going to fall asleep for hours. And I was just like, oh, I was just going to rest for a minute. Nope, that is not what happened. I woke up and I was like, son of a bitch, it's 7 o'clock. As you can see, I have notes under my hands. I was watching this YouTuber. I'm trying to decide what side is going to be the top. I think it's going to be this one. So, which means this is the bottom, which means this is where we want to tie things. Anyway, I was taking notes about, this was show not tell, talking about how to, specifically expressing emotions like on the page, like how are you showing that somebody is like sad or upset or mad, and like the whole concept of like show don't tell is, instead of saying, oh, he was sad, not letters, prose, as in, books. You missed everything. This is what you get for coming in late, sir. It's whatever. Look, if you watch the replay, you'll know what the hell I'm talking about. There you go. I said that this was going to be the back, but I don't know if this thread is going to agree with that. I think this thread's going to do whatever the hell it wants, and I'll be damned. I think that's what's about to happen. So no, I'm a writer. Oh, yay! What kind of tech stuff? I'm so tech illiterate. I want you to know that. I can't even. The fact that I'm able to operate a computer at all is weird. I'm a geek's nightmare when it comes to tech. Apparently. I mean, I wish I could use it better. I really do. I just can't. I regularly. No, that. Have you not been paying attention to my conversation? What have you been doing? My conversations are all over the place. That is how I function. But no, I found this guy's YouTube channel, right? Like randomly. Squirrel. That's me. That's me. Oh my freaking hands keep locking up though. Ow. Okay, now, so this is what I've been doing with all of them, is I'm stopping here. Because I'm done with this. But I gotta do something with this. And I could, like, clip the ends. But I don't love doing that. Because if I can feed some of this through, like, one of these stitches, I don't know. It's less, damn it, to look at for me. Now, really what I should do to do this, though, is I should do this instead of knotting it. But clearly that's not what we were thinking today. So, anyway, yeah, I got an idea at some point on Thursday, and I stayed up too late because I had to write. And I got like 500 plus words. I don't know actually where I started off. I have to look. I have no idea now that I think about it. I'm up to like, where the hell's my post-it? It's not a post-it. I'm up to 1800 now. And I've like worked on it a little bit. So, on that note, hold on. I'm a nerd. Just in case we forgot. I'll give you some stats. Give me a second. These are guidelines. Okay, I'm a yarn nerd, I'm an art nerd, I'm a science nerd, I'm a chemistry nerd. And by that I mean have a deep and abiding interest in those things, not necessarily a super... not necessarily like the, you know, accomplished. Okay. So. Alright. I'm trying to see what I used last time to reference this. And let's see. Apparently the answer is I don't know. Okay, so here's one. Let's start with the first let's start with the first thing, right? Let's do that. There are guidelines for word count for novellas, novels, short stories, and like usually even a novel, which would have the most, doesn't usually exceed, like a single novel doesn't usually exceed a certain amount of words, just because it would be freaking huge, and hence why we have sequels. Right? Well, that's loading. Pull that through. So that I feel like looks a little better. It lays a little flatter. Probably should have done that instead of, you know, this. You know what? Actually, so, alright. And are you hating on me? Is it? Because it looks like it is. Well, that was like, I'm not going to answer your freaking question. I don't care what you say. Next. I've decided that I don't want to have this done like this because of where this is putting the thread. So we're going to actually take this out and try really hard not to push it under my fingernail. No, I'm working on it. I'm a writer. I'm just not published. Not in the sense that people think. Like technically, if you put it on the internet, it's published. And I do exist on the internet, and I'm not fucking telling you where. Not telling anybody where. Oh my god, why is this being all weird? Okay. So. Oh, biscuits. Go away. Pop-ups. Okay. So. Alright. If you want a quick answer, here we go. A short story, which is the smallest of these, is like 7,500 words. Okay, so, and that's less than. So right now, I've got a short story, although it's not a complete story, so I wouldn't even call it that. A novelette is about 7,700 to 1,700, and 17.5. A novella is 17.5 to 40,000. So, a novel is going to be more than 40,000 words. Okay. Now, there are 150,000 word, like, books, but those things are friggin' huge. Like, they're ghastly large, right? I don't even know, like, on a page, like, if you just put that many words and printed it both sides and put it in a stack. I have no idea how big that would even be. I don't know. Okay, so I have not been sewing these things shut, which is what I'm doing right now, because I don't have a good needle for my... So yeah, a blog post is like a long one. It's going to be like somewhere around 2,000 or less. Like, if you're a blogger, most people are not wanting to have more than like 1,500 words. 500 words is a really short blog. 250 is like a fucking, I don't know, a couple, like a paragraph or two, right? Like that's what these amounts look like in practice. Publishers apparently are fussy about things like novellas, because they're shorter, don't cost as much, right? And this is the fact that we're talking 30,000 word versus 80,000 word. Otherwise, they cost about the same, okay? But novelettes and novellas are a little harder to publish. And then, of course, are we gonna like get any more than that? Like, is this it? Is this the end? Like this series? Like, is that what we got? Okay, so if you would like some more references, novelettes, The Fall of the House of Usher by Edgar Allan Poe is one. And then that's 11,000 words. And The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson is 17,000 words. Now, I have read The Fall of the House of Usher, and I would have called it a short story, I gotta be honest with you. This is not that long. But apparently, word count wise, it counts as a novelette. Novellas, we've got A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens and Animal Farm by George Orwell, and that's coming in at 28,000 and 30,000 words. Okay. I think it's really funny that they put novelettes, novellas, and short stories. They should have put it in the other order. I can't place A Christmas Carol. I don't know why. Like, I know who Dickens is, but That's not Scrooge, is it? That's terrible. It's terrible that I don't know that. Short stories. I don't know any of those. Yeah, no. I know exactly none of these people. But I'm gonna like keep this blog open. It is Scrooge. Okay, all right, then I know that story. Yeah. All right, I'm just, for somebody who loves literature and is a writer, I don't actually read a lot of the classics. Like, I'm familiar with the story because I've seen it in visual form, like a whole bunch, right? But okay, so on the other thing, right, where I said it wouldn't load. 3 words, 3 reasons word count is important in writing, and apparently shorter is easier to market, longer is more expensive to print, and audience expect a certain size, which is fair. Okay, if you're writing your first novel, 80,000 to 100,000 is a rule of thumb. 40,000 falls into novel, right? No, not me neither. 50,000 is considered the minimum standard, like the basic minimum, and anything over 110,000 is apparently obnoxious. So here you go. All right, here's a reference. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings trilogy has an enormous word count, and the longest, I guess, of them is 175,000 words. Now, if you've ever read Tolkien, you're not surprised about that. There's just a lot going in there. Friend is reading, she's reading The Hobbit to her son. Now, okay, here's another thing. Different genres have a tendency to expect different word counts, apparently. So 70 to 90,000 for a thriller, 90 to 120,000 for science fiction and fantasy. And I guess when you consider that you get a world build, what do you want now? Romance novels, 50,000 to 100,000. Oh, that's a lot. Okay. So, hey, I've answered that question. Now I know, so I'm good. No! I don't do requests. How many times am I going to tell you? The answer is always no. Let's see. Don't stab yourself in the finger. That'd be bad. Okay, so this is what I'm supposed to do to close this. I just haven't been. Oh my gosh. I've written today. I read another passage. I was at 9:43 and then I got up to 1800. No. No. I'm a textile artist. No. That's a ridiculous question. In fact, hey, since you're here, and since it's dark outside and I can't photograph my haul, which I need to do, I just bought 4 skeins of sock yarn. So yeah, no. I'm about to get more yarn tomorrow. And I went and looked at more yarn. I have 10 or 12 different skeins, like colorways I'm looking at. Hey, deal with it. If you don't like it, get thee gone. This is my channel. I can do what I want. Not the boss in me. Hey, look, if you don't like textile art, the door is that way. Thank you. No, it's not. Your space is over there. This is my space. My space. Maybe I can knot it now that I have... No, let's try to put it through the stitch. If I could see. Black is notoriously So they say, like, don't do anything really important. Like, don't do cables in black because you're failing. Sorry. I'm not sorry. You're failing. You're fired. Um, Speaking of fired, where'd the weekend go? Okay. Oh no, I'm serious about my space. My bubble. Oh my gosh. Why does this thing hate me so much? So, we didn't really do anything, like, important. Right, hey, in orientation, here's people, here's some knowledge things. Uh, we're going to do that next week. We've got to do one more class on Monday, and then it's here is where you're going to be. Do the thing. Because I am not going to work in one building. I have to go basically to all the buildings, however long that takes, right, and get like a feel for the specific people that work in those buildings. That's gonna be fun. Yeah. I don't hate meeting new people, but like meeting new people is not like something I'm ever seeking to do. Like if I do, I mean, okay, fine. But okay, so yeah, this is why I finished it like this, because this looks a lot better. It's killing me though. Okay, so, but I can't snot it out. So I think it's gonna be good. I did ask them because basically my job is to fill in. I was like, so is there any chance that I'll say I'm available and you won't have any work for me to do? My boss just looked at me and said, "Oh yeah, no, that's not gonna happen." I was like, "Okay, well, good." I need to pay bills, so. I'm surprised that this whole thing worked out, like, right here. I wasn't sure that this was all going to be like this, but I really like how that looks. It's fun. It's fun! Well, sometimes you'll say you're available and they just don't have any work for you to do. Like, that's a thing. That totally happens. But the organization I work for is freaking huge. I mean, I'm familiar with the industry. I've worked in the industry a really long time. So, I know how it works. I just don't usually fill in. But the industry has been short-handed since I was in high school. It's not anything new, so it's not gotten better. No, it's not. I don't know that it's gotten worse, but yeah, at this point, everywhere is short-handed, right? But this place, like this industry, has been short-handed. Has been, so yeah. School's kicking my ass, though. Oh, cannot even. Okay, so let's make sure we do this right. Alright, so. Oop. Okay. This is the last one I gotta do. What? What? No. No. No touch. Also, I've been sitting down all day. My feet don't hurt. Also, don't know you like that. So no. Yeah, that's exactly right. My no game is strong. Okay, so the dog is snoring. What a baby. She's such a baby. Okay. Yeah, so if I'm not on the bed, she sleeps in my spot. if I am, she just sleeps in the center of the bed, you know, making it impossible for, you know, me to sleep on my side. Oh my gosh. Really? Why? Are you sure? I don't know what you're talking about. You're making stuff up. Don't make stuff up. But no, I tell you what is happening. My phone is dying. It's because my phone is dying. Which means I'm gonna actually end this before it like cuts off. So I'll see you later. Bye. I'm past my hour anyway. It's fine.